Crisis at the southern border. President Biden sending FEMA to assist with handling of migrant children at the border. This is the number of children and teens currently held in facilities, seeing a nearly 60% increase year over year. Yesterday on Sunday Morning Futures, Maria spoke with Texas Governor Greg Abbott on the concerns of what is happening in his state.
It's the Biden open border policies that are inviting even more illegal immigration and actually have created this humanitarian crisis. More importantly, though, Maria, is this challenge, and that is the Border Patrol officers told me that the Biden administration policies, they are enriching and they are empowering the drug cartels in Mexico who make money off of the people that they assist in smuggling them into the state of Texas. The cartels make money off of these migrants that you and your viewers see on TV.
Well, my next guest traveled to the border this weekend. Joining me now, Kansas Senator and Senate Small Business and Agricultural Committee member Roger Marshall. Senator, good morning.
Good morning, Cheryl. Thanks for having me on.
So thank you for being here. Wall Street Journal wrote an op-ed last night. It's called The Biden Border Mess. I want to read you what I think was a very telling line out of this editorial. They say migrants respond to incentives, and the surge in border crossings is a direct response to Biden policies and rhetoric. Your response?
You know, absolutely, Cheryl. That's exactly what I saw yesterday. Look, I'm a physician. I've done mission work all over the world, and I know a humanitarian crisis when I see it. And President Biden's policies of an open border, amnesty, come to our country right now and we'll help you. And look, we want to be compassionate, but this has backfired. We have the humanitarian crisis, we have a healthcare crisis, and we have a national security crisis as well. But the policies of President Biden have made it more lucrative for the cartel to smuggle people into the country than they did on drugs. So in just a short 30-mile helicopter ride yesterday, 30 miles of the border, we saw over 200 individuals trying to get across the border. And that's just taken all the resources away from our Border Patrol, so we can no longer, track down the drug trafficking. So we are overwhelmed at the border right now. This is all because of President Biden's new policies.
And to be clear here, I mean, these migrants are victims because, these are cartels and smugglers and sometimes drug runners that are taking them across the border, and they're charging them sometimes thousands of dollars. So first off, you've got the victims, a lot of them children that we're talking about. And then also you've got a lot of these, we're finding out now, of course we are, that a lot of these migrants are testing positive for COVID.
Yeah, you're right. It's very disheartening, the healthcare crisis here. So they're saying 5 to 25% of the folks crossing the border are testing positive for COVID. And by the way, for every person we're catching, there's probably 2 others that are crossing the border. And then after we have them register, we all send them to some type of a congregate living setting. So they're all together. So if you don't have the virus yet, you soon will. And of course, it's not just COVID. I was at the border 3 or 4 years ago. We were worried about tuberculosis and hepatitis and scabies, all communicable diseases, and that's still there as well. But it just doesn't make any sense. This is the hypocrisy. Mm-hmm. The hypocrisy that President Biden's administration only wants us to have 3 people to gather together on the 4th of July and have a hot dog. Meanwhile, we're letting probably thousands, certainly at least hundreds of people cross the border every day with the virus, and very likely a virus that's a little bit different than the virus we've seen here in this country. So it is absolute hypocrisy.
But it's interesting that you brought this up because especially with the issue of COVID, you had Dr. Anthony Fauci warning against lifting restrictions here. He's worried about new variants, new cases. And then you've got vaccine efforts, at least we're getting that going. You've got nearly 70 million Americans at least have gotten a dose. I've seen numbers that say 100 million. You're a doctor. So what is your outlook on that?
Well, look, we are approaching herd immunity, that if our president and our governors do our job, we'll have herd immunity in April or May. But then we're going to be reintroducing the virus. This is going to be double or triple or quadruple. The number of people that they're saying are crossing the border is an underestimate. They're saying the little 30-mile stretch that I looked at yesterday, 2,000 people are crossing that border illegally every day, and there's probably another 4,000 they're not catching. So I think by May, there'll be more cases of the virus crossing the border every day than new infections in the state of Texas. So this is horrible. It's a bad thing, and it's hypocritical.
Well, we certainly do appreciate you coming on, and I'm glad you went down to the border to see for yourself what so many of us, including Maria, that hosts the show, have seen with her own eyes, and that it is a crisis. Maybe they'll come out this week and finally say that, the administration will. Senator Roger Marshall, thank you for being here, Senator.